Cry. Smell the sea and feel the sky. Let your soul and spirit fly as we sail into the mystic. Yeah, when that foghorn blows, I'll be coming home. When that foghorn blows, I want to hear it. I don't have to fear it. I want to rock your gypsy soul. Yeah, just like way back in the days of old. Magnificently we will float hands into the mystic. as we sail into the mystic. Oh, yeah. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good morning, Jubilee. Thank you, Paula and Susie, Ryan World Beat Band. We can for a moment, just all just take a couple of breaths in and out. Connect with this stillness that surrounds us, that we invite into our lives for the next few moments. To breathe in and out the intentions of why we've given our energy and our time to be present this morning. Happy Father's Day. And what a joy it is here to be here this morning again, talking about masculinity and how we're cultivating change for the future. There's been so much happening here recently, I'm sure, in all of our lives about setting the foundation for all of these lessons that are happening. Showing up yesterday at the protest or rally, whatever you want to call it, and yes. And the Jubilee Social Justice team there, nice to run into everyone and to see all the support. And all this energy that we feel that comes from a foundational place, I think, that unites us as community, common unity again, as once again we come here as Jubilee. But also the energy that's arising in each and every one of us, that's a foundational source of masculine and feminine that lives in each and every one of us. And in these times, whenever we meet these challenges, certain energies arise and we take on certain roles that call to us that what lies true in our own hearts. So this is what is cultivating change today, is taking apart the patriarchy, which is a word that has recently come back into my realm of energy because it's talked about a lot. So today is kind of a foundational setting for a lot of lessons that are happening as we're getting ready to transition into another via of awareness. So take this opportunity to kind of look at the seeds that we have sown during this springtime when we've tilled up fresh earth and fresh soil for these new ideas and new visions. Now we're starting to go into a new phase of this generational birth, or rebirth of knowledge and wisdom, where we come from in the masculine. And today we will talk about the masculine and the feminine and the divine oneness of how we are combine those energies in this cultivating change and awareness. So I invite you today, for all of those of you online joining in, thank you for joining us, and we invite you to breathe with us and join into this moment as we invite in more music and we invite in this time to give our efforts to the homeless, and we invite you, Jubilee, to come and to sing and to stand and to celebrate today in a good way. Our hope.
Oh. Let's sing this one more time for this via. Come gather around, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept that it's soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, and it better starts from then, or you'll sink like the stone, for the times they are a change. past as a present now will later be past. The order is rapidly faded, and the first one now will later be last. For the times they are a-changing, for the times they are a-changing.
Well, Jubilee, I humble myself to that moment because I guess they're really hungry out there. Thank you for that, but it's a little premature to call that in for this moment. So again, if you will, breathe with me. I would like to ask our fellow Jubilee Minister of Movement, Cathryn, if you would please, to come and join me in this moment as we call to the directions. As many of you may know, Cathryn is also a minister here at Jubilee Community. And in this moment of joining this weekend, of raising our voices to all of these things that we look to through the wisdom of the past, to those that have lived a life of all the challenges that they've lived through and seen, I ask you to breathe into this moment with us, to call upon that ancient wisdom to come and join us in these moments, to walk with us. And Cathryn, if you would, please. Let's face to the east. Oh, ancestors of the east, it's with a humble heart we come today. We thank you for the light and the warmth that you shine upon us, and we ask you to continue to share your compassion and your love and your kindness and your patience. We ask you to continue to be gentle in your voice and your ways of guiding us to the future. We ask you to remind us of this ancient language of calmness and silence and love, so that we may invite it into our own lives in this time of challenge. We ask you, ancestors, to remind us of this tenderness, of this harmony, and this calmness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, space to the south, please. Oh, ancestors of the South, to all the living beings of the water nations, we thank you. To the cloud people and the thunder beings, the rain people, we thank you for coming and nurturing us. It's with a humble heart that we ask you to continue to quench our thirst for the great mystery of life. We ask you to continue to grow the seeds that we planted, our ideas and the visions. Help us to grow in that light so that we might feed the next generations. We ask you to continue to nurture us in this way and know that we see you and that we honor you and that we love you in a good way. Oh, face to the west, please. Oh, ancestors of the West, to all of those that have gone before, we thank you for your ancientness and for your wisdom. We thank you for all that you have done to overcome the challenges and the things that came in your life, and we ask you to continue to breathe those lessons into the wind so that we might hear them. We call to you to ask you to join your voice with ours as we stand against something that is trying to destroy us. Stand with us, ancestors, as one. Help us to face the future as we learn from the past so that we might teach our children and our grandchildren. Know that we love you and that we honor you. And we invite you to be with us at all times in a good way. Oh. Face to the north, please. Oh, ancestors of the north, to all the living beings of the Wind Nation, we thank you. We thank you, Wind Nation, for all that you do to pollinate the earth with our visions and our dreams and our energy. Help us, Wind Nation, to expand the light and the messages of goodness and love and all that we envision. Help us to heal the wounds that are reopening at times, and help us to learn from the lessons of the past as we grow in this way. Take us, Wind Nation, to the places that only the wind and love know to go. And know that we're honored to travel with you. And we invite you to continue with each and every breath to walk with us. Aho. And if you will, face the center, please. Again, take a deep, deep breath in and out. And know, ancestors, as we offer this breath of reciprocity, and as we receive the beautiful gifts of life, know that we are honored to come together as a community, as one heartbeat and one voice, looking to the future as we learn from the past. Walk with us in a good way, and help us to learn our lessons in kind, loving, and gentle ways. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Aho.
Aho. Thank you, Yona. Thank you, Cathryn, so much. If you have not yet dropped anything in the Feed the Hungry basket, please, now is the time we will sing. And now that you have, stay standing, please. Help us out with this song. An old Jubilee favorite. When I was a boy, each week, on Sunday we would go to church, pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread. Everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, and Jesus made the water wine. I remember feeling sad. Miracles don't happen still, and now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but an even better magic trick is that everything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding that there isn't one. Oh, it was rare at best. It barely went my fingertips. Now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world out there, having second-rate hand-me-down. Now I'm walking with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Sing again. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. And it is.
Jubilee. This is Jubilee in action. And I think the microphone is on, so that's wonderful. Paula Hanke has supported the Jubilee singers through all our transitions and leaders. Without her, there would have been no choral music after Terry Sandoval left last December. Paula directed the singers when there has been no one to direct us. Now we have found this perfect partnership with Sue Ford as our director this year. The singers are so grateful. Could the singers stand up if you're here today to show who the singers are? Paula, we love you so much and have something for you. We love surprises. Paula is just so much to this community and the singers, so it's wonderful. We have grown to a group of nearly 20 because our music and sound has improved. We invite you to join us when we start rehearsing again on September the 3rd. So we are out for the summer now. Laura Lorcher's ceramic studio in the River Arts District was destroyed by Hurricane Helene. Now she's building a new studio in Swannanoa and inviting jubilants who are handy with tools to a drop-in to a building party anytime after 8 a.m. on Saturday, June 28th. Snacks, pizza, and non-alcoholic drinks will be provided. See Laura, who you can see, for details. Not to be missed. We are looking for jubilants to volunteer as prayer partners during the meditation and prayer time on Sundays. See Diane DeWitt if you are interested. The Earth Team's reunion with nature is today. Jubilants who have RSVP'd to attend will gather around 12:30 after coffee hour. See Maureen Linneman or Mary Lou Kemph for details. Via Positiva starts next Sunday, and the overall theme this summer is Thriving Together. The seeds of celebration with the Sunday topics and names of initial guest speakers, including Laura Collins, Daniel Barber, and Catherine the Grateful, are on the website. If you want to do the welcome or lead the meditation at Sunday celebrations, contact Lynn Orndorff. To share a gift, speak with Susie Davis. Oh, there she is. I'm just kidding. To read the announcements or call the directions, see Michelle Bernhardt. Details and contact information for all these announcements are on the back of the bulletin and the home page of the website. I am very sad to announce that Louise Slater's husband, Steve Slater, passed away yesterday. Please keep the family in your prayers, Louise, Luke, and Clayton. There will be more information to follow later. Everyone is invited to the coffee hour after today's celebration. And next up is David Short with a gift of poetry.
I don't see David here today. John David. Is he here?
I thought he was here.
So we're going to move forward to the meditation and prayer time. This is also a time where if you wish to receive Holy Communion at our Western Wall, there are folks back there for you. If you'd like some support with any prayers today, there are also people back there to listen and to offer you any support you might need. This is Kathy and John with our meditation.
The divine masculine is a part of each of us in the same way as the divine feminine. The following affirmations will help your subconscious connect with that sacred masculine energy. Settle into your space, be as comfortable as you can be.
Following the affirmations, there will be a moment of quiet with drumming, and then I'll close with a poem. Relax, and may you be open to receive the grace that comes to you. I am connected to divine source and all that is. I've faced challenges with strength and resilience. I act with confidence and courage. I am worthy of an amazing partnership. I listen to my heart, trust my inner guidance. I release the need to be strong at all times. With love and belonging, I am enough. My vulnerability is a strength. I embrace my softer, gentler side. I do not compare myself to others. I am brave and ask for help when I need it. I am grateful for all of the abundance in my life. I align with my higher self and trust my journey. I am divinely unique in my own right. I am sacred. Thank you. Thank you. This poem by Nancy Wood has held special meaning for both John and myself. It is her interpretation of the Taos Pueblo Indian way of seeing and understanding. My help is in the mountain, where I take myself to heal the earthly wounds that people give to me. I find a rock with sun on it, and a stream where the water runs gentle, and the trees which one by one give me company. So I must stay a long time until I have grown from the rock, and the stream is running through me, and I cannot tell myself from one tall tree. Then I know that nothing touches me nor makes me run away. My help is in the mountain that I take away with me. Earth, cure me. Earth, receive my woe. Rock, strengthen me. Rock, receive my weakness. Rain, wash my sadness away. Rain, receive my doubt. Sun, make sweet my song. Sun, receive the anger from my heart.
Thank you so much. Well, we're moving along quickly this morning. Let us stand and share a holy peace midway through our song this morning. We're going to sing. We're going to offer each other a hug or a smile or a hello or a handshake. For now, let's sing All Good Gifts one more time. We plow the fields and scatter the good seed on the land, but it is fed and watered by God's almighty hand. He sends us snow in winter, the warmth to swell the grain, the breezes and the sunshine, and soft refreshing rain. All good gifts around us. is bright and good. The seed time and the harvest, our life, our health, our food. No gifts have we to offer, for all thy love imparts, but that which thou desirest, our humble, thankful hearts. All good gifts around us are sent from heaven above. We thank the earth, we thank the earth for all her love. We're grateful for creation. Oh, yeah. And we have another gift this morning, everybody. Mary Lou Kemph and Christy Cheek of the Buncombe County Schools Foundation, please make your way up to the podium and talk to us.
Hey, hi everybody. I'm Mary Lou, and I am very proud to tell you that I'm from the Outreach Committee, and the Outreach Committee has been looking at where to share your generous gifts that you give every Sunday. And so we have decided to give a check of $1,212 to the Buncombe County School Foundation. And I think you all know that our schools need us. They need us badly. And so I'm going to present the check to Christy Cheek, and she is the director of the Buncombe County Schools Foundation.
There you are. Oh my goodness, thank you, and peace be with all of you. So if I get really emotional, that's who I am. I'm a very emotional person, and I just uplift that because that just means you have a good heart when you're like that. So just know things come from my heart, and I'm truly amazed. We were talking earlier, I'm not an artistic person, but I certainly can appreciate art, and I just love this cupcake paper tree, and I called it a tree of life. It's such a giving portrait over there, and as I look at it, I just see such peace and serenity and hope. So thank you so very much. I'm going to take that back to art students and just let them know how easy things can be done, but mean so much. So it is a joy and a pleasure to be here today, and happy Father's Day. My dad's in heaven, and I celebrated him yesterday, and so he meant the world to me. So, and then I have a great husband, and I now am going to be a grandmother. So I am so happy about that, you know, fathers mean the world to us, and I'm just so very thankful and blessed that I had mine. And so I really speak as a teacher because I taught high school. Some people don't have that love of gift to high school. I loved it. And so I was with the county schools for over 31 and a half years. And my worst day of life was when they told us we had to go sub in the elementary school. And I had those children like around my legs and things, and they were holding this number system that I totally didn't understand. And I only know how to do math in an old school way, and so they let me know that quite quick that I did math as an old school person. And I thought, oh my, let me get back to high school anytime, because you could have like conversation with adults there. And so it wasn't my finest hour or finest day, but It is the gift that we are given, and when I was with the system, to go in and teach a couple of times during the year at different places, and sometimes they assigned you places instead of letting you pick, and that was like the most horrific day in education for me because it was just not my gift. So I knew my gift was elsewhere. So the Buncombe County Schools Foundation was established in 1984, and when I began teaching in 1987, I was the recipient of several Buncombe County School Foundation awards, and then coffee mugs and all things to make people want to continue teaching. So, coffee mugs, right? I mean, that's why you want to go into teaching. It's for the coffee mugs. But anyway, so the foundation, as I knew it, was something very different because I didn't really know the inner workings of it. But after I retired, which I failed miserably, it is one of the things that happened to me. The previous superintendent said, will you come run the foundation? And I said yes, because it is the love of teaching and giving to both teachers and students. And then I did some workforce development in my background. So marrying those two worlds together was just delightful for me. And it always, I can honestly say I love going to work every day. I'm going to leave this with Mary Lou, but if you'd like to find out more about what the foundation does, all you have to do is the lovely Google, and of course it will Buncombe County Schools Foundation, and it'll kind of direct you to what we did. But I want to talk just a little bit about the hurricane. As the hurricane impacted all of us greatly, in the school system, we typically run about 500 to 600 students who are known as McKinney-Vento or homeless students every year. Well, during the hurricane, the displacement went up to over 1,100 students. So this could be that they, their houses were gone, or they were impacted in some way, or there was just significant amounts of trauma. And out in the Swannanoa community, the Cane Creek community, and other places, those types of things happen. But I saw the best of humanity on display during the hurricane as well. As people across this nation lifted up Buncombe County Schools and the foundation, we partnered with an organization that sent underwear for every child in our system and socks, so that if they needed things like that, they would have them. And they're in all sizes and things, and we continue to store them so that when we go back to school in August, students will have grown, and then they may not have what they need. So we have a wonderful family resource center that we work with that supplies food, clothing, do housing vouchers, other things through grants and other funds. And so this is a wonderful support we can provide our students. We are blessed to have an amazing scholarship program. Over $500,000 was given out. We finished that this past week, and for students pursuing secondary plans. It doesn't just have to be going to college, as we know that's not the only pathway to success in life, but some of the students who enter the trades can go through apprenticeships and other routes, and so we have greatness in what we call SMART scholars, and those are our skills that make a real transformation. So we have students pursuing those paths, and we always want to lift up and acknowledge any pathway to pursuit of what they want to do. And that's truly what it's all about. What do students want to do? We don't have to guide them usually. They know it in their heart, and they can see it. So beyond our scholarships, talking a little bit more about Helene, we usually give out teaching grants during the year, but this year we shifted our money to staff. And so we provided over $75,000 to staff who have been impacted by the hurricane. And then we provided over $220,000 to our schools, as those were the donations that came in, and we sent it back out to our schools. For those of you, yes, I know, I'm so forever thankful. For those of you who don't know Buncombe County Schools, there's one district in all areas, and we have 45 schools out there, and we have over 22,000 students in our midst. So it is a glorious, glorious time that we celebrate graduations over the weekend as all of our high schools graduated, and students now are on their own journey to whatever they want to do. So I'm very excited about that. And most of all, I'm excited for partners like you all, in joyous and kindness and out of giving, to know that there are people who care. And the caring part to me for students is the greatest thing anyone could give, because students are our future. We know that. They're our communities, they're our workforce, and we have to make sure that we're doing what's right for education. And I've spoken with many of you here, and you know, it is about the programs, it's about the success of children, it's about the hearts of children moving forward. And so we have an amazing talent in our school system, and we are happy to be the support arm of Buncombe County Schools as we just hope that they go out and have wonderfully successful but happy lives. So thank you again. This is quite an honor.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Buncombe County Schools, and all that you're doing to help promote the future in that way. Again, I invite you in this moment to breathe with me as we share these readings. A man's got to have a code, a creed to live by, no matter his job, by John Wayne. And from the seven paths, changing one's way of walking in the world. There is a power in nature that man has ignored, and the result has been pain and sorrow. This is ancient wisdom and holy word.
Thanks be to all that is wise and holy.
All creation is wisdom and holy word. All creation sings of wisdom and God. Hallelujah. Once again, welcome, Jubilee. I'm so honored to come here today and share a message about cultivating change through the sacred masculine. And for those of you that don't know me, I was born and raised around here, so the Southern accent, I come by it very honestly. I grew up with a father who was a Southern Baptist preacher, and I was pretty sure that Jesus had a Southern accent, because whenever my dad read those red words in the Bible, it sounded just as Southern as the rest of us. On this Father's Day, when I think about masculine, I was raised by a father who was a Southern Baptist preacher. Not by choice, but by taken from his family and forced to go into the boarding schools, and accepted Jesus Christ as his Savior because it was a way out of this moment that he saw the only way to the future as he knew it, as coming from a place of nature and harmony and balance. Now, I tell you this because my father was a strong, strapping man. He was a rock mason. He was a brick mason, he was a carpenter, he was many things. My father was never one to really hug us and hold us and tell us how much he loved us, but what my father did was take us out into the woods and teach us how to track, how to find food, and how to know whenever it got cold in the winter which trees to cut and which ones that made the most sense to cut, which ones were dying, which ones that were alive. My father taught me about the seasons and growing and gardening. My father taught me about fishing and making lures. You didn't need a hook. All you need is just a little wisdom of how to weave a net and put a net out there in the river, and then you can go do other things instead of standing out there with a pole for a few hours. Practicality. I didn't see that as a masculine experience whenever I was growing up, because I was too busy watching Superman and Shazam and World's Greatest American Hero and all these guys busting down walls and the Bionic Man jumping over buildings. Now, to me, that represented masculinity, man. That was testosterone at the max. That's what I wanted to be. I used to be that kid running out there in slow motion with the Bionic Man sound. And I watched my father. How he and my mother did this dance that they learned in a time of post-World War II. I remember my mother having the little magazines of the Betty Crocker, How to Be a Good Housewife. I remember this dance of watching my dad going out and these commercials about dad earning the bacon and mom cooking it. All these things about the roles that were generalized in a way that became a lifestyle. But it wasn't a Native American lifestyle, it was the American dream. It was this cookie cutter example of what the American dream was, as opposed to what the masculinity of my father that taught us, and his father before him that taught us how to be in harmony with nature, Mother Earth, because to the Cherokee as a matriarchal society, we are about Mother Earth first, always. Which leads me back to not only my father, but my grandfather, his father. Many of you know that I've shared some of my story. My grandfather might have known a dozen words of English, but couldn't put a sentence together, didn't care to. I had a grandmother that refused to learn English. It was this same grandfather that would take me on side of the mountain on this 300 acres or so of land, of mountain land that we grew up on with no running water and no electricity. And listening to nature, sitting on a rock with our feet in the water, and my grandfather shushing me because at 5, 6 years old, all I could do was talk about this and talk about that and all of these things and why not and how come. And my grandfather would always just gently encourage me to listen to the trees that were surrounding us. And it was in those moments that, as a child, I began to learn how to really understand what was being offered to me, because once I did, I learned what berries were. And my name, Yona, means bear in Cherokee. So berries and bears get along really well. So I learned how to track berries and animal things. And I learned how to tell stories by listening to the wind and by my grandfather sitting in silence with me and asking me, "What did the wind tell you, Yona? Tell me a story about what the woods have said." And it's in these ceremonies that my grandfather would lead the sweat lodge ceremonies, that in the sweat lodge ceremony, the sweat lodge represents the womb of Mother Earth. And inside the womb of Mother Earth, inside the sweat lodge, is a pit that represents the belly button of Mother Earth, that umbilical connection back to the mother, back to the womb. In our ceremonies, the sweat lodge was given to the men because it was a sacred place for us to come and cleanse ourselves, because the women had a separate place to do their ceremonies, because women were given the gift to cleanse themselves naturally. So the sweat lodge was given to the men so that they could come in and be worthy of service to the mother, whether it's Mother Earth, whether it's the physical, feminine mother of life, whether it's plants, human, all feminine life. Yesterday morning, I was at the North Asheville Tailgate Market, and this beautiful, young, spirited young woman that comes to some of the ceremonies that we do in the community is just this big energy bubble. And she comes up and she's like, Yona, gives me a big hug. And she said, Yona, did you know? And she's doing the butterfly and bee awareness booth there. And she's got her little bee ears on and everything. And she's giving a big hug. And she's like, Yona, did you know that 90% of flowering blossom plants on the earth, they need pollinators? And she was just so joyous about telling me. She was like a little kid that had just learned something amazing, which she had. But it was in that moment whenever she said 90% of these flowering plants on the planet require a pollinator. The feminine requiring the presence of the masculine. Creating beauty and budding nature and impossible colors that we see in flowers and nature. The magnolias, the mountain magnolias you may see that have been blooming, and the smells. The cicadas, as they come and sing and they do their dance and they fall back into the earth and they re-nurture and they re-fertilize and they regrow. All these things that we're learning from nature that are a masculine energy that we as human beings are maybe just now starting to understand. And maybe it's in this understanding as we're cultivating change through divine masculine, is understanding the very core source of what masculinity is in nature. Understanding how it works in nature and how the wind, whenever the wind and the bees come and they come and they pollinate and the flowers begin to bloom and they put these pollens in the air and the wind comes and it picks them up and it pollinates the earth. And it's the same way with our vibrations, with our hopes and our visions. This energy is this energetic pollen that goes into the air, and we ask the wind nation, just like we did in honoring the directions this morning, we ask the wind nation to come and take this energetic pollen and pollinate the earth, just as nature has shown us from the very beginning of time. History repeats itself. Well, let's go beyond human history. Let's go beyond to those places where in my culture, the Cherokee culture, we believe we come from the stars. That's why we have Father Sky, Mother Earth, the presence of the masculine and the feminine that create the divinity of life. I went to some women that I care for very much in my life and love very much and respected, Cathryn the Grateful being one of them. I asked her, I said, in this message, I want to know from you, someone that I honor in your spiritual walk in life, what is it that the feminine is looking for from the masculine in this day? What would you like to see? You as a person that is walking a sacred path, that is coming out of this patriarchal time of being subdued. Again, my father was a Southern Baptist preacher, and the women in our church, they didn't wear makeup. They didn't wear jeans on Sundays. You came to church in a dress. There was a way. There was subservience. When they got married, you promised to serve and obey your husband. Boy, that's not masculinity to me. That's patriarchy, I think. It's a little stern now that I look back on it. But again, my dad was one of those fire and brimstone guys. I still have singed hair on the side of my head from those fiery sermons that he gave. And my dad would get up on that, man, he'd get up there and huff and he'd puff. He'd get his handkerchief out and, man, he'd have to undo his tie. And at 15 years old, I was like, man, I can't wait to be that guy. I just didn't realize that I had a lot to say, but there was a different way of saying it. And I think that that's what cultivating change through masculinity is, because we're coming from that time of post-war, of depression, and these times of frugalness, and this time of holding. I remember my mom and dad having coupons from the depression for shoes. Had to stand in line for shoes, had to stand in line for food. So I understand how my parents held on tight. But now we're moving into a time where it's time to share. It's time to overcome these boundaries that have divided us. Now, in my understanding, I was raised, and that's why I chose one of these sayings from John Wayne, because my dad was a big John Wayne fan. I grew up watching John Wayne movies, and John Wayne was the man. He had that limp and everything. I used to walk around 11 years old, just... Had a little swagger. I was a gunslinger. I grew up in that time whenever it was portrayed. Now that we have mass media, we have social media, we have Instagram and this and that and the other, where do you think all this directional energy started of the energies out there in the world defining what masculinity was for us? Superheroes, again, America's greatest hero, Shazam. I went through all of that. But now I'm returning back to the roots of the softness and combining it with the alchemy, a sacred alchemy of the feminine coming in and lending wisdom. I've been experiencing beautiful relationships with feminine that are growing me in so many ways, that have taught me so much about self-love. And inside that self-love, it has given me the opportunity to wipe away some of this BS that Yona has been taught in his life, and to really have to be present, to be in service to the beauty that I see in others and desire. And I believe that in true masculinity, it is about releasing and relenting these old ways, to become vulnerable again, to return to a place of softness and nothingness where there's nothing but quiet and a heartbeat language that is spoken only between a mother and a child. And that's why we go to the sweat lodge ceremonies, is to cleanse ourselves so that we can return back to this sacred place of honoring the feminine. Breathe with me, please. As many of you know, I come up here with a notebook full of notes, and there's nothing in there really. I just kind of flow with the moment. But in becoming a father myself and a grandfather, and coming into this new awareness of relationship with the masculine and the feminine, and realizing that I have a foot on both sides of the fence. And as my father would say, being man enough to admit it. Because for so long, being a man has meant being guarded, being closed, and being strong and being tough. When something in my spirit for so long has just longed to love, sometimes to just cry for no reason at all, or for reasons that I don't even know that bring a smile. So in this time where we're cultivating change in the masculine, it's my sincere hope, Jubilee community, and all of us, anyone watching and anyone that connects with the pollination of this wind. So I ask you in this time to breathe your goodness and your hopes and your vision and what you're understanding and what you might lend to the next generations. Because in 100 years, your children or grandchildren might be standing on a hillside somewhere and the wind will blow and they'll hear your voice and they'll hear this prayer and they'll feel the energy and something will come over them. And this is how we cultivate the change, because now we pollinate the earth with the beauty that we envision, with the understanding and the balance. And that's how we create generational wealth for the next generations. We do it together. We do it in unity, with a common vision, with a common goal, with common love, compassion, and goodness. And with a common understanding that the masculine and the feminine must come together, and for us to know that divine life that we're looking for and seeking. And it takes all of us from both sides of the fence to remove the fence and just be. And to me, this is what I understand, to grow and to cultivate change in the divine masculine. In a good way.
In a good way.
Thank you so much, Yona. All right, well, it's time to pass the bowls once again. Everything you put in the bowls this morning goes right back to us to help us keep this whole thing going.
In this exchange, there's offering is made 4 times. The first time to honor your gifts and your gifts from your ancestors of the past. Second time for the present. The third time for the future. And the fourth time for the free will to choose to receive. And know that we receive your gifts in such a good way to continue doing what we're doing here. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Jubilee, we are changing this world one little step at a time. Let us stand and sing ourselves out. Let's enjoy the day. I can change the world with my own 2 hands, make a better place with my own 2 hands, make a kinder place with my own 2 hands, with my own 2 hands, with my own
my problem. What am I gonna do now? Am I gonna make it some way, somehow? Maybe I'm not supposed to